Thanks a lot, Natalia. Great, insightful talk. We have time to cover a little bit of questions, so I hope you're ready. One question that kept coming up also in the chat now was on Vitest. Have you tried it out for unit testing yet?
Yep, I played on it as a pet project. Unfortunately, there is no chance for us to try it on prod right now. And from my experience, the most comprehensive things happen on prod. But I would say that it's really great in terms of speed comparing to Vue test utils and JS. I mean, everything about Vite is about speed, right? So yeah, but I cannot give deep comparison before I use it in production.
Yeah, that makes sense. A general question, we shouldn't be testing the underlying implementation. Also, you've covering methods and so on. Rather, we should test the user behavior. I know there is some recommendation on that, but it's always not so easy to understand what is meant by it without seeing actual examples. What do you think about the whole topic of?
I agree about it. It was slightly covered in my talk when underlying implementation was, for example, a computed property. And then we're just testing user behavior. But I wouldn't go to extreme, because if we bring this statement to extreme, we shouldn't be even doing unit testing at all, right? We can test user behaviors with end-to-end tests with Cypress in the browser or whatever you're using. I'm not that lucky. I'm using RSpec with Capybara at GitLab. I wish I would be using Cypress. So yes, but with moderation.
No, it makes sense. And also a bit, I think, piggybacking into this, because there's also this ongoing debate of we should use test IDs or not. It seems useful, but then maybe it goes against the user behavior if you need to rely on having test IDs to tell you what elements are what. So what's your thoughts here?
So yes, it's rendered in build. This is like a bad thing about it. You can switch to refs. You can search by text if you're using DOM testing library. But for us, in our particular case, this is useful because we're using the same identifier in our end-to-end tests. So we need it to be in the build.
Cool. I think we cover one last question since we're unfortunately a little bit behind. No fault to you. So I'm giving you a big, easy question to round off the day with, and I'm sure it's not easy to answer it in short, but it was interesting. What's a common mistake in testing that you've seen at GitLab?
Two of them. First, and we were fighting it for a long time, was actually wrapper.vm literally everywhere in every single test. This is the first one. And second one was false positives due to not waiting for next ticks, just asserting something, and like it was false. So one common mistake, it was people do not make mirror tests. So they just write a test that is false positive, and they do not write a test that is checking negative behavior. And again, this was like fighting us so many times. So right now I insist on people writing coverage for every single test.
No, that makes sense. Thanks a lot. I wish we had more time to talk and also to cover questions, but I'm sure we can get to that in the future. So thanks again, Natalia. It was a great talk, and thanks for your answering the questions.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. It was a pleasure. Bye.